Long before the lights of modern cities reached into the night, the world grew wonderfully quiet after sunset. Great temples stood beneath endless skies. Marble columns reflected the silver light of the moon, and ancient rivers continued their patient journey through civilizations that had already flourished for thousands of years. Across deserts, mountains, forests, and fertile valleys, countless people looked toward the heavens with the same quiet curiosity, wondering about the unseen powers they believed gently shaped the rhythm of the world around them. Tonight, we begin a peaceful journey through the sleeping gods of the ancient world. This is not a story of war or conquest, nor a search for forgotten treasures hidden beneath ruined temples. Instead, we will slowly wander through the calm landscapes that inspired some of humanity's oldest myths. Together, we will visit moonlit Egypt, beside the timeless Nile, the marble sanctuaries of ancient Greece resting beneath quiet olive trees, the sacred forests of the Celtic world, the silent deserts of Mesopotamia, the mist-covered mountains of East Asia, and many other places where mythology and nature gently met. For the people who lived in these civilizations, the natural world often reflected something greater than itself. Rivers nourished entire kingdoms with remarkable faithfulness. The changing seasons returned year after year with quiet certainty. The moon rose above the horizon exactly as it always had, while stars crossed the heavens in patient silence. Rather than separating daily life from the landscape, many ancient traditions found meaning within these dependable rhythms, expressing them through stories that connected people with the earth, the sky, and the passing of time. Although every civilization understood the world through its own beliefs and traditions, many shared a gentle appreciation for stillness. Temples were often built where mountains overlooked valleys, where rivers reflected the stars, or where forests naturally invited quiet reflection. These places were not chosen only for their beauty. They offered a peaceful setting where the mind could slow down, and where the changing light of dawn and dusk quietly became part of everyday life. As we travel together tonight, we will not seek to determine where history ends and mythology begins. Instead, we will simply appreciate the landscapes that inspired these timeless stories and the calm wisdom they continue to offer. The sleeping gods of the ancient world will remain peaceful companions throughout our journey, not as figures demanding attention, but as gentle symbols of humanity's enduring desire to understand the beauty and mystery of the natural world. Before we continue, if you enjoy slow documentaries that combine history, mythology, archaeology, and peaceful storytelling designed to help you relax and fall asleep, you're warmly invited to subscribe to The Quiet Sleep. Every journey here unfolds gently, every landscape encourages quiet reflection, and every evening offers another peaceful path into the ancient world. Now imagine a warm breeze moving softly through the columns of an ancient temple as the moon rises above distant hills. The air carries the fragrance of olive trees, desert flowers, and flowing rivers. Somewhere beyond the quiet stone walls, the stars begin appearing one by one, our peaceful walk through the sleeping gods of Annecy, where the ancient temples fell quiet. The last light of the day slowly fades beyond the distant hills, and evening settles gently across the ancient landscape. A broad stone pathway stretches before us, worn smooth by countless generations of quiet footsteps. On either side stand towering columns carved from pale limestone, their graceful silhouettes glowing softly beneath the rising moon. Beyond them, olive trees sway gently in the evening breeze, while the fragrance of warm earth and flowering herbs drifts peacefully through the silent courtyards. The temple no longer echoes with the voices that once filled its halls. Instead, it rests quietly beneath the stars, surrounded by the same mountains, rivers, and open skies that inspired its builders thousands of years ago. Time has softened its sharp edges. Marble steps have become smooth through centuries of wind and rain, while ivy slowly embraces weathered stones that once reflected the brilliance of newly carved walls. Nothing feels abandoned. Rather, everything seems to have settled into a calm conversation with the passing centuries. Across the ancient world, civilizations built temples in remarkably beautiful places. Some overlooked fertile valleys where rivers nourished entire kingdoms. Others stood upon rocky hills facing the rising sun, while many rested beside sacred groves whose quiet shade offered relief from the warmth of the day. Although every culture expressed its beliefs differently, many shared a common understanding that certain landscapes naturally invited contemplation. The beauty of the setting itself became part of the experience. Walking slowly between the ancient columns, it becomes easy to imagine why these places inspired generations of storytellers. As moonlight filters gently across the stone floor, every shadow changes almost imperceptibly. A quiet owl settles upon the roofline before gliding silently into the night. Somewhere beyond the temple walls, water continues flowing through a nearby stream, exactly as it did when the first stones were carefully placed here so long ago. Many ancient traditions describe their gods not simply as distant beings, but as expressions of the forces shaping the world around them. The dependable return of the seasons, the faithful flooding of rivers, the warmth of the sun after winter, and the quiet arrival of evening all became woven into stories that helped people understand their place within the larger rhythm of nature. Whether those stories came from the banks of the Nile, the mountains of Greece, the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, or distant forests farther north, they often reflected the same careful observation of the world that surrounded everyday life. Perhaps this is one reason why ancient temples remain so peaceful even today. Their greatest beauty does not come from grand monuments alone, but from the harmony between human craftsmanship and the natural landscape. Great columns rise toward the stars without competing with them. Stone courtyards open toward the moon rather than enclosing it. Trees continue growing beside walls built thousands of years ago, quietly reminding us that nature has always remained a patient companion to human history. As we continue our gentle walk, the temple gradually opens onto a wide terrace overlooking a quiet valley. Far below, a silver river reflects the moonlight as it winds peacefully through fields and distant villages. Beyond the horizon lies another ancient land, where one of history's oldest civilizations patiently awaits beside the timeless waters of the Nile, inviting us to continue our journey into the sleeping myths of the ancient world. The moon above the timeless Nile. Leaving the quiet temple behind, our journey carries us gently southward until the warm evening air begins to change. The fragrance of olive trees slowly gives way to the sweet scent of river reeds and flowering lotus, while the cool breeze carries fine grains of desert sand across the peaceful landscape. Before long, the moonlight reveals one of the most familiar rivers in human history. The Nile flows calmly through the darkness, its broad waters reflecting the stars with remarkable clarity, as they have done for thousands upon thousands of years. The river seems almost timeless. It moves with quiet confidence, never hurried, never uncertain, gently nourishing the fertile banks that rise from the surrounding desert. Palm trees sway softly along the shoreline. Papyrus reeds whisper together where the current slows, and distant temples stand in graceful silence beneath the moon. Their massive columns and carved gateways glow with pale silver light. appearing almost weightless against the deep blue sky. For the people of ancient Egypt, the Nile was far more than a river. It shaped the rhythm of life itself. Its dependable floods renewed the soil each year, transforming narrow strips of green into remarkably fertile land surrounded by the vast stillness of the desert. Villages, gardens, orchards, and temples flourished beside its waters, while the changing seasons followed the quiet certainty of the river's ancient cycle. Many Egyptian stories reflected this remarkable relationship with the natural world. The rising sun, the flowing Nile, the stars overhead, and the yearly return of fertile waters all became symbols through which the ancient Egyptians expressed their understanding of life, renewal, and balance. Their gods were often closely connected with these rhythms, serving as poetic ways of describing the dependable order they observed throughout the landscape rather than separating the sacred from the world around them. Walking quietly beside the river tonight, it becomes easy to appreciate that peaceful connection. The moon rests gently upon the calm water, while small fishing boats drift almost silently near the opposite shore. Date palms cast long shadows across narrow footpaths, and somewhere in the distance, the soft call of a night bird echoes across the valley, before disappearing into the vast stillness of the desert beyond. Perhaps nowhere else does the contrast between river and desert feel so remarkable. On one side, fertile fields filled with life stretch peacefully beside the water. On the other, endless golden dunes rise quietly beneath the stars, their smooth curves shaped only by the patient work of the wind. Together, they create a landscape unlike any other, one where abundance and stillness exist side by side without conflict. The moon continues climbing higher above the eastern horizon, bathing both river and desert in gentle silver light. Ahead, enormous stone monuments gradually emerge from the darkness. Their familiar triangular silhouettes stand quietly against the night sky, unchanged through countless centuries. There, beneath the faithful stars of Egypt, another peaceful chapter awaits among the ancient pyramids, where time itself seems to move as slowly as the Nile. The river slowly disappears behind us as the path rises onto a broad plateau, where the desert stretches endlessly beneath the moonlit sky. The air is perfectly still. Sand dunes roll gently across the horizon like quiet waves upon a frozen sea, while the stars shine with extraordinary clarity above the open landscape. Ahead, emerging softly from the silver light, stand the Great Pyramids, calm, patient, and timeless. There is nothing hurried about these ancient monuments. For more than 4,000 years, they have quietly watched the moon cross the heavens, welcomed each sunrise above the eastern desert, and witnessed generations come and go with remarkable silence. Wind has smoothed their stones, sand has gathered and drifted away countless times, yet the pyramids remain, their simple geometric forms resting naturally beneath the vast Egyptian sky. Walking slowly toward them, it becomes easy to understand why they continue inspiring quiet reflection. Their immense size does not overwhelm the landscape. Instead, they seem to belong to it. The pale limestone softly reflects the moonlight, while long shadows stretch peacefully across the sand. Nearby, small desert shrubs cling patiently to life where the ground allows, reminding us that even the quietest places continue supporting the gentle rhythm of nature. For the ancient Egyptians, permanence held deep meaning. The dependable return of the Nile, the steady journey of the stars, and the daily rising of the sun all reflected a world ordered by balance rather than chaos. Their monumental architecture echoed that same sense of stability. Great stone structures were built not to resist nature, but to exist alongside its enduring rhythms, quietly participating in the landscape that surrounded them. The desert itself encourages a slower pace. There are few sounds beyond the soft movement of the wind across the dunes. Every footstep settles gently into the sand before disappearing once more beneath its shifting surface. Looking toward the horizon, it becomes difficult to judge distance. The open space creates a feeling of remarkable calm, where time seems to stretch as generously as the landscape itself. Perhaps this peaceful stillness explains why the desert has long inspired contemplation across many civilizations. Without crowded forests or busy cities, attention naturally turns towards simpler things: the changing light upon the sand, the steady movement of the moon, the coolness of the evening breeze, and the extraordinary brilliance of the night sky. Nothing competes for our attention. Everything quietly invites us to observe. As we pause beside the ancient stones, the constellation of Orion slowly climbs above the eastern horizon, just as it did for generations of Egyptian sky watchers. The stars continue following their familiar paths, while the moon casts a soft glow across the timeless plateau. Far beyond the pyramids, the Nile still winds through fertile fields hidden within the darkness, faithfully connecting desert, river, temples, and villages into one living landscape. Soon our journey will follow those ancient waters once again, carrying us toward another quiet sanctuary where towering columns, blooming lotus flowers, and the gentle murmur of the river invite us into the peaceful heart of one of history's most enduring civilizations. Leaving the quiet plateau behind, the path gradually descends once more toward the gentle waters of the Nile. The desert slowly softens into fertile ground, where groves of date palms sway peacefully in the evening breeze, and papyrus reeds line the riverbanks. The air becomes cooler near the water, carrying the delicate fragrance of lotus blossoms that rest upon calm pools reflecting both the moon and the stars above. Ahead, an ancient temple rises gracefully from the river's edge. Its broad entrance is framed by enormous columns whose capitals bloom into elegant stone lotus flowers, their carved petals still remarkably beautiful despite the passing millennia. Moonlight glides softly across polished sandstone, illuminating long corridors where silence has slowly settled over centuries. The walls remain covered with finely carved scenes, yet tonight they ask for no interpretation. They simply accompany the quiet atmosphere, allowing the beauty of the architecture to speak for itself. For the ancient Egyptians, the lotus became a familiar symbol of renewal because of its quiet daily rhythm. Each morning, its blossoms opened to the sunlight, and each evening, they gently closed again with the coming darkness. Watching this simple pattern unfold, season after season, naturally inspired reflection. The flower did not struggle against the passing hours. It welcomed them, faithfully following the same calm cycle that guided the river, the stars, and the changing seasons. Walking beneath the great columns, one notices how naturally the temple welcomes the surrounding landscape. Open courtyards invite moonlight rather than shutting it away. Gentle breezes drift through wide gateways without obstruction. Beyond the outer walls, the Nile continues its patient journey, while frogs sing softly among the reeds and nightbirds occasionally cross the quiet sky. The temple feels less like a building standing apart from nature and more like another peaceful expression of it. Many ancient sanctuaries were carefully positioned to receive the changing light of dawn, dusk, and certain celestial events throughout the year. Their builders observed the heavens with remarkable care, allowing architecture and landscape to quietly complement one another. The result is a feeling of remarkable harmony. Stone, water, sky, and earth seem to exist together with effortless balance, each enhancing the quiet beauty of the others. Perhaps that harmony explains why these places remain so calming today. Even after thousands of years, the relationship between the temple and the landscape has hardly changed. The moon still rises above the river. Palm trees continue swaying beside the water. Lotus flowers bloom with the same gentle rhythm, and warm breezes still pass through the ancient colonnades exactly as they did when these stones were first carefully assembled. As we leave the sanctuary behind, our path follows the river toward the south, where the Nile narrows between great cliffs of golden sandstone. The moonlight paints both water and stone in soft shades of silver, while distant hills begin rising from the desert beyond. There, where quiet mountains watch over the river's ancient course, another peaceful chapter of our journey patiently awaits beneath the timeless skies of Egypt. The river gradually narrows as it passes between towering cliffs of warm sandstone that rise gently from the desert floor. Moonlight rests upon their weathered faces, revealing countless layers shaped by wind, water, and time. Below, the Nile continues its quiet journey, flowing peacefully between the rocky hills with the same calm certainty that has guided its waters since long before the first temples appeared along its banks. The valley feels wonderfully protected. On one side, the quiet river reflects the stars with remarkable clarity. On the other, the desert stretches toward the horizon in broad waves of pale sand, interrupted only by scattered acacia trees whose graceful branches cast delicate shadows beneath the moon. The contrast is striking, yet perfectly balanced. Water and stone, fertile earth and open desert all exist together without competing for attention. Many ancient Egyptian sanctuaries were built among landscapes like these, where the natural beauty of the cliffs and the peaceful movement of the river created places that invited contemplation. Rather than standing apart from the surrounding world, the temples often appeared to emerge naturally from the stone itself, their columns echoing the vertical lines of the cliffs, while their courtyards opened toward the generous light of the sky. Walking quietly along the riverbank, it becomes easy to appreciate the remarkable patience of this landscape. Every cliff has been shaped over countless ages, every bend in the river carved gradually through steady movement rather than sudden force. The desert teaches the quiet strength of endurance, while the Nile gently reminds us that persistence often creates the most lasting beauty. The moon climbs higher, illuminating the sandstone in soft shades of silver and pale gold. A heron stands motionless in the shallows before lifting gracefully into the night, its wings carrying it silently downstream. Palm leaves whisper together in the cool breeze while the river continues flowing without interruption. Never hurried, never still. Everything belongs to the same peaceful rhythm. Perhaps this quiet balance between permanence and change is one of the most enduring gifts of the Egyptian landscape. The cliffs remain steadfast through the centuries, while the river constantly renews itself. The stars continue crossing the heavens, and each new dawn gently replaces the moonlight before evening quietly returns once again. Nothing remains exactly the same, yet nothing truly breaks the harmony of the whole. As we pause for one final look across the moonlit Nile, the familiar outlines of Egypt slowly begin to fade into the distance. Ahead, our journey leaves the fertile river behind and follows the gentle winds toward another ancient civilization. Beyond the eastern deserts, broad plains nourished by the Tigris and Euphrates patiently await beneath the stars, where quiet cities, peaceful ziggurats, and some of humanity's oldest stories once rose beside another pair of timeless rivers. the quiet rivers of Mesopotamia. As the moonlit Nile slowly disappears behind the distant horizon, our journey follows the gentle winds across wide deserts and rolling plains until another remarkable landscape begins to emerge beneath the stars. Two broad rivers wind quietly through fertile land, their calm waters reflecting the silver light of the moon as they nourish fields stretching far into the distance. Date palms line the riverbanks, reeds sway softly in the evening breeze, and beyond them, peaceful cities rise from the earth in warm shades of clay and stone. This is the ancient land once known as Mesopotamia. Between the Tigris and the Euphrates, some of humanity's earliest cities flourished thousands of years ago. Here, careful observation of rivers, seasons, and the heavens shaped daily life with remarkable consistency. The dependable arrival of water transformed broad plains into fertile fields, where orchards, gardens, and villages quietly prospered. Like the Nile farther to the west, these rivers became faithful companions whose steady rhythms encouraged both gratitude and careful attention. Walking beside the calm water tonight, the landscape feels wonderfully peaceful. Moonlight glides gently across the slow-moving current, while frogs sing softly among the reeds hidden near the riverbank. Small fishing boats rest quietly along the shore, their reflections trembling ever so slightly whenever the breeze touches the water. Above, the stars shine with extraordinary brilliance, unobstructed by forests or mountains, creating an endless canopy stretching from one horizon to the other. For the peoples of ancient Mesopotamia, the sky and the rivers were closely observed throughout the year. The changing seasons, the rising and setting of familiar stars, and the gentle rhythms of agriculture all became part of a world understood through careful attention rather than hurried explanation. Their stories reflected this relationship, weaving together observations of the natural world with symbols that helped express the remarkable order they perceived within it. Perhaps that is one of the quiet similarities shared by many ancient civilizations, whether beside the Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates, or countless other rivers throughout the world. People often found meaning not by separating themselves from nature, but by watching it patiently. A river flowing through fertile land, the dependable return of spring, or the slow movement of the moon across the heavens became gentle reminders that life itself followed rhythms much older than any single generation. As we continue along the river, a broad structure gradually rises above the sleeping city ahead. Layer upon layer of carefully built terraces reaches toward the stars, illuminated softly by the moonlight. Its quiet silhouette dominates the peaceful plain without disturbing its calm. There, beside one of history's oldest cities, another gentle chapter of our journey awaits among the ancient ziggurats that once watched over the fertile heart of Mesopotamia. The rivers remain quietly behind us as the path follows a broad avenue paved with sun-baked bricks that have long since cooled beneath the night air. Ahead, rising gently above the sleeping city, stands a magnificent ziggurat. Its great terraces ascend one above another with remarkable simplicity, each level growing slightly smaller until the highest platform seems to rest peacefully beneath the stars themselves. Moonlight softens every edge of the ancient structure, while long shadows settle quietly across the surrounding courtyards. There is a profound sense of stillness here. Unlike the towering cliffs of Egypt or the marble sanctuaries of Greece that await us later in our journey, the ziggurat seems to grow naturally from the plain itself. Built from earth gathered nearby, its warm clay bricks share the same gentle colors as the surrounding landscape. It feels less like an object placed upon the land and more like another quiet hill shaped patiently by human hands. For the civilizations of ancient Mesopotamia, cities were closely connected to the rivers that sustained them. Temples, gardens, workshops, and homes flourished where water allowed life to thrive, while the great ziggurats became peaceful landmarks visible from many miles away across the open plains. Their elevated terraces offered broad views of both the fertile countryside and the expansive sky above, gently linking earth and heaven through architecture rather than separating them. Walking slowly around the base of the structure, we notice how calm the city has become. The busy sounds of the day have faded entirely. Courtyards rest beneath the moonlight, palm trees sway gently beyond the walls, and the quiet fragrance of flowering gardens drifts through the warm evening air. Somewhere in the distance, the familiar murmur of the river continues without interruption, reminding us that the life of the city has always flowed alongside the life of the land. The night sky above Mesopotamia possesses extraordinary clarity. With few mountains interrupting the horizon, the constellations rise and set in graceful arcs across the heavens. Ancient observers spent countless evenings watching these dependable movements, carefully noting the changing appearance of the moon and stars. Their observations reflected remarkable patience, growing gradually over generations through quiet attention to the rhythms unfolding overhead. Perhaps this gentle relationship between architecture and the heavens is what makes the ziggurat feel so peaceful tonight. Its broad terraces do not compete with the sky. Instead, they quietly invite the eye upward, encouraging contemplation rather than spectacle. The moon rests comfortably above its highest platform, while countless stars continue their faithful journey across the night, exactly as they have done since these first cities welcomed them thousands of years ago. As we leave the sleeping city behind, the broad plains gradually give way to gentle hills stretching toward the distant horizon. Beyond them lies another ancient world where white marble temples overlook blue seas. Olive groves shimmer beneath the evening breeze, and mythology flourished among mountains touched by the warm light of the Mediterranean. There, beneath another peaceful sky, the quiet landscapes of ancient Greece patiently await our arrival. As the fertile plains of Mesopotamia slowly disappear behind us, our journey follows the gentle curve of distant coastlines until the warm air begins to carry a different fragrance. The scent of river reeds gives way to wild thyme, rosemary, and flowering olive trees growing across quiet hillsides. Before us, the moon rises above a peaceful Mediterranean landscape, where silver leaves shimmer softly beneath the evening breeze, and narrow stone paths wind gracefully through ancient groves. The countryside feels wonderfully tranquil. Gentle hills roll toward the sea, their slopes covered with olive trees whose twisted trunks speak quietly of remarkable age. Some have stood upon these hills for centuries, patiently witnessing the changing seasons beneath the same familiar sky. Between them grow wildflowers, soft grasses, and scattered cypress trees that rise elegantly toward the moonlit heavens. In the distance, the calm waters of the Aegean Sea reflect both the stars and the gentle glow of the moon. For the people of ancient Greece, landscapes like these naturally inspired reflection. Daily life unfolded among mountains, islands, forests, and fertile valleys whose beauty quietly encouraged storytelling. Rather than existing apart from nature, many myths grew from close observation of the world itself. Olive groves, springs hidden among rocky hills, quiet caves, and high mountain peaks all became settings where the imagination gently met the familiar rhythms of everyday life. Walking slowly beneath the olive branches tonight, the soft rustling of countless silver leaves accompanies every step. Their movement creates a quiet music carried by the breeze, while small owls perch silently upon weathered limbs before gliding effortlessly across the grove. Somewhere nearby, a clear spring emerges from smooth limestone, its gentle waters flowing patiently toward the valley below. The olive tree itself became one of the enduring symbols of the Mediterranean world. Its remarkable longevity, quiet resilience, and generous harvest naturally earned deep admiration throughout the centuries. Watching such trees grow slowly through generations encouraged a peaceful understanding of time. Great beauty, like great wisdom, rarely appeared all at once. It matured gradually, nourished by patience, changing seasons, and careful tending. Perhaps that is one reason these groves continue feeling so calming today. The trees ask nothing from those who walk among them. They simply continue growing beneath the changing sky, welcoming sunlight, rain, wind, and moonlight with equal grace. Their quiet endurance gently reminds us that life unfolds most naturally when allowed to follow its own rhythm rather than one imposed by haste. As the path gently climbs beyond the olive grove, white marble begins catching the moonlight above the trees. High upon a rocky hill, elegant columns rise toward the stars, glowing softly against the deep blue sky. There, overlooking both sea and countryside, another peaceful chapter awaits among the quiet temples whose graceful forms have watched the Mediterranean world for more than 2,000 years. The path climbs gently through the olive grove until the trees gradually give way to an open hillside where white marble glows beneath the moon. At the summit stands a quiet temple, its graceful columns rising with perfect balance against the deep blue night sky. Beyond the ancient sanctuary, the Mediterranean stretches toward the horizon, its calm waters shimmering beneath countless stars, while a soft breeze carries the familiar scent of salt, herbs, and flowering shrubs across the hill. There is a remarkable sense of harmony here. The temple does not dominate the landscape. Instead, it seems to belong to it completely. The marble reflects the cool light of the moon, while the surrounding hills remain covered with olive trees whose silver leaves continue their quiet conversation with the wind. Far below, small fishing boats rest peacefully in sheltered coves, and gentle waves meet the rocky shoreline with a rhythm so soft that it almost disappears into the silence of the evening. Many sanctuaries of ancient Greece were carefully placed where mountains, forests, and the sea could all be seen together. The builders understood the quiet power of beautiful landscapes. A temple overlooking a valley or standing high above the coast naturally encouraged contemplation, allowing those who visited to feel connected not only to the architecture itself, but also to the wider world surrounding it. Walking slowly between the marble columns, we notice how open the sanctuary feels. There are no heavy walls enclosing the sky. Instead, moonlight passes freely through every space, casting long, delicate shadows across the smooth stone floor. The stars remain visible between the columns, and the distant sea continues reflecting their gentle light without interruption. Architecture and nature quietly share the same peaceful stage. For the ancient Greeks, many stories reflected the character of the landscapes around them. Mountains inspired tales of quiet heights where clouds gathered peacefully. Springs emerging from hidden rocks became symbols of gentle renewal. Olive trees, vineyards, and calm seas all found their place within myths that expressed admiration for the beauty and balance of the natural world. While the stories themselves varied, the landscapes that inspired them remain wonderfully unchanged. Perhaps this enduring harmony explains why these places still invite quiet reflection after so many centuries. The marble has weathered beneath countless winters and summers. Olive trees continue growing along the same hillsides. The moon still rises above the Aegean, and the sea continues its patient conversation with the shore. Time has transformed many things, yet the gentle relationship between land, sky, and water remains remarkably familiar. As we leave the temple behind, the first hint of dawn begins touching the eastern horizon with delicate shades of pale blue. Our journey now turns northward, carrying us beyond the Mediterranean toward mist-covered forests, quiet rivers, and rolling green hills, where another ancient world patiently awaits. There, beneath broad oak trees and soft morning skies, we will gently enter the peaceful landscapes that inspired the enduring myths of the Celtic peoples, the misty forests of the Celtic world. As the marble temples of Greece slowly disappear behind the distant horizon, the warm Mediterranean breeze gradually gives way to cooler northern air. The landscape changes almost imperceptibly. Dry hills become rolling green valleys, olive groves yield to broad forests of oak and ash, and quiet streams weave gently through meadows covered with dew. A soft morning mist rests upon the countryside, drifting peacefully between ancient trees whose branches have welcomed countless changing seasons. The forest feels wonderfully alive, yet perfectly calm. Sunlight filters gently through the canopy, illuminating patches of emerald moss, delicate ferns, and clusters of tiny woodland flowers growing quietly beneath the towering oaks. Every now and then, a robin sings from a nearby branch, while somewhere deeper within the forest, the gentle murmur of a hidden stream accompanies the whisper of leaves moving softly in the breeze. Nothing asks to be hurried here. The woodland seems content to unfold at its own timeless pace. Across the ancient Celtic lands, forests were among the most familiar landscapes of everyday life. Great oak woodlands stretched across hills and valleys, sheltering countless birds, animals, and flowering plants beneath their broad canopies. Walking through such places naturally encouraged careful observation. The changing light beneath the leaves, the arrival of morning mist, the quiet return of migrating birds, and the dependable rhythm of the seasons all became gentle companions to those who knew these forests well. Many Celtic traditions found inspiration in landscapes rather than monuments. Instead of vast pyramids or towering stone terraces, quiet groves, flowing rivers, peaceful hills, and ancient trees often became places where stories naturally grew. These landscapes invited reflection, not because they were separate from ordinary life, but because they quietly revealed the remarkable beauty already present within the natural world. As we continue along the woodland path, the mist begins lifting slowly between the trunks, allowing warm sunlight to reach the forest floor in long, golden beams. A family of deer moves silently across a distant clearing before disappearing once more among the trees, while tiny streams continue their patient journey over smooth stones softened by centuries of flowing water. The entire forest seems to breathe together with the gentle rhythm of the morning. Perhaps that quiet harmony is one of the enduring gifts of the Celtic landscape. Great oaks grow one season at a time. Rivers carve their valleys one gentle current after another. Morning mist rises with the warmth of the sun before quietly returning again at evening. Everything follows its own patient rhythm without ever competing with the rest of the living world. Ahead, the forest gradually opens toward a broad green hill, crowned by an ancient circle of standing stones. Soft sunlight now rests upon their weathered surfaces, while birds glide peacefully above the open meadow surrounding them. There, where earth sky, and quiet memory gently meet, another peaceful chapter of our journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations patiently awaits. The woodland path gradually leaves the shelter of the great oaks and emerges into a wide meadow where the morning mist still lingers close to the earth. The grass sparkles with countless drops of dew, each reflecting the gentle light of the rising sun. At the crest of a low hill stands a quiet circle of weathered stones, their broad silhouettes rising patiently above the surrounding fields as they have done through countless centuries of changing seasons. There is an extraordinary calm about this place. The stones neither dominate the landscape nor disappear within it. They seem to belong exactly where they stand, shaped by human hands long ago, but now softened by rain, wind, moss, and time. Small wildflowers bloom around their bases. Birds rest upon their upper edges before lifting effortlessly into the sky, and gentle breezes pass freely between them without ever disturbing the remarkable stillness that fills the hilltop. Across the ancient Celtic world, standing stones and stone circles appeared in many different forms and places. Modern archaeology continues to study their varied purposes, and much remains uncertain. Yet whatever their original roles may have been, they have become enduring symbols of humanity's long relationship with the landscape. Rather than separating people from the natural world, they quietly emphasize how deeply early communities observed the movement of the sun, the changing seasons, and the gentle rhythms of the earth itself. Walking slowly into the circle, one notices how naturally the surrounding countryside becomes part of the experience. Beyond the stones, rolling hills stretch toward distant forests, while clear streams wind peacefully through green valleys below. Skylarks sing high above the meadow, their voices drifting gently across the open air before fading into the quiet breeze. Nothing feels enclosed. The wide sky itself seems to complete the circle. Perhaps this openness explains why such places continue inviting peaceful reflection today. There is little here demanding explanation. The stones ask only to be observed with patience. Their weathered surfaces tell silent stories of passing centuries, while the landscape surrounding them continues much as it always has. Seasons arrive one after another. Grasses grow and return to the earth. Birds build their nests each spring, and the morning sun faithfully rises above the eastern hills. The beauty of the meadow lies not in grandeur, but in balance. Stone, sky, wind, and grass all share the same gentle rhythm without competing for attention. Spending a few quiet moments here, it becomes easier to understand why ancient people often chose elevated places like this for gathering, reflection, and careful observation of the natural world. The hill offers perspective without separating us from the living landscape below. As we quietly leave the standing stones behind, the path descends toward a peaceful river winding through the valley. Tall ash trees line its gentle banks, their leaves shimmering in the fresh morning breeze, while clusters of wildflowers bloom beside the water. There, where flowing streams have patiently shaped the countryside for thousands of years, another gentle chapter of our journey quietly awaits among the timeless landscapes of the ancient Celtic world. The hillside slowly falls away behind us as the path follows a gentle descent into one of the broad green valleys below. Here, the air feels cooler once again, carrying the fresh fragrance of flowing water, damp earth, and flowering meadows, warmed by the growing morning sun. Before long, the quiet murmur of a river reaches our ears, its calm current weaving gracefully between smooth stones, polished by countless generations of patient movement. The river flows without haste, Its clear waters reflect drifting clouds, overhanging branches, and patches of bright blue sky that appear between the leaves of ash, alder, and willow trees growing along its peaceful banks. Ferns spread across the shaded ground, while moss-covered stones rest quietly beneath the roots of ancient trees that have watched the seasons come and go for hundreds of years. Throughout the ancient Celtic lands, rivers quietly shaped both the landscape and everyday life. They watered fertile valleys, connected distant settlements, nourished forests, and provided peaceful pathways through rolling countryside. Many traditions celebrated rivers not because they conquered the land, but because they gently sustained it. Watching their dependable movement through every season naturally encouraged respect for the quiet constancy of the natural world. Walking beside the water, it becomes remarkably easy to match its rhythm. The current neither rushes nor hesitates. It simply follows the valleys carved patiently through the earth over countless centuries. Sunlight dances gently across its surface, while tiny trout glide through the shallows beneath wavering reflections of leaves moving softly in the breeze. Every detail invites quiet attention rather than hurried observation. Perhaps this is one of the oldest comforts offered by rivers. They gently remind us that persistence often appears in the softest forms. Stone is gradually shaped by flowing water. Valleys emerge through countless gentle currents. Great trees find steady nourishment from the soil beside the banks. Nothing dramatic is required. Time itself quietly becomes the artist. The birds seem to understand this peaceful rhythm as well. A kingfisher flashes briefly across the water before disappearing downstream, while swallows glide effortlessly above the river, tracing graceful patterns through the warm morning air. Somewhere hidden among the reeds, frogs add their quiet voices to the soft conversation already unfolding between water, wind, and leaves. Many ancient stories from across Europe grew from landscapes like these. Rather than separating myth from nature, they allowed forests, rivers, hills, and changing skies to become companions within the imagination. Whether told beside evening fires or shared during long walks through familiar valleys, these stories gently reflected the beauty that surrounded those who first spoke them. As we continue following the winding river, the valley gradually widens into open countryside, where distant hills rise beneath scattered clouds. Far ahead, a broad oak forest stretches across the horizon, its ancient canopy glowing softly in the afternoon light. Beyond those great trees lies another peaceful landscape where quiet groves, gentle winds, and timeless myths continue waiting beneath the patient sky. The river slowly disappears behind us as the valley rises once more toward a vast woodland of ancient oaks. From a distance, the forest appears like a great green sea resting peacefully across the rolling hills, its broad canopy moving gently beneath the afternoon breeze. As we step beneath the first towering branches, the sunlight softens into long golden shafts that drift quietly through the leaves, illuminating carpets of moss, ferns, and tiny woodland flowers scattered across the forest floor. The air feels wonderfully cool here. The fragrance of oak leaves, damp bark, wild herbs, and rich earth creates an atmosphere of deep calm. Every breath seems slower than the last. Somewhere overhead, wood pigeons call softly from hidden branches, while a gentle breeze stirs the canopy with a sound so steady that it resembles the quiet rhythm of distant waves meeting a peaceful shore. For many ancient Celtic communities, great oak forests formed an essential part of the landscape they called home. These woodlands offered shelter, food, timber, fresh water, and a place where the changing seasons could be observed with remarkable clarity. Spring arrived first in the tender green leaves, summer deepened the shade beneath the branches, autumn covered the earth with warm colors, and winter revealed the graceful architecture of trunks that had patiently stood for generations. Walking slowly beneath these ancient trees, it becomes easy to understand why forests inspired such enduring stories. A great oak rarely appears hurried. It grows quietly, adding one ring beneath its bark each passing year without ever announcing its progress. Storms bend its branches, winters strip away its leaves, and yet each spring it welcomes new life with the same quiet confidence. Its strength comes not from resisting time, but from living peacefully alongside it. Perhaps that gentle resilience is what makes these forests feel so comforting. Nothing here asks us to hurry. Sunlight moves slowly across the moss. Tiny insects drift through warm patches of light. Squirrels carry acorns among the roots, while birds continue their familiar songs exactly as countless generations have done before them. The woodland seems perfectly content to exist according to rhythms much older than any human memory. As we reach a quiet clearing near the heart of the forest, a single enormous oak stands apart from the others, its broad branches spreading gracefully across the meadow like open arms welcoming the afternoon light. Beneath its shade, wildflowers bloom among soft grasses, and a narrow spring emerges from the earth before beginning its gentle journey toward the river we left behind. The entire landscape feels remarkably complete, as though every tree, stream, bird, and breeze quietly belongs to the same peaceful conversation. We pause beneath the great oak for a few moments, allowing its calm presence to settle gently around us. Looking upward through the countless leaves shimmering against the bright sky, it becomes easy to appreciate one of the quiet truths shared throughout our journey. Whether beside the Nile, the Tigris, the marble temples of Greece, or these peaceful forests of the Celtic world, ancient civilizations often found their deepest inspiration not in distant heavens alone, but in the enduring beauty of the landscapes that surrounded them every single day. As the afternoon slowly begins its gentle descent toward evening, our path leaves the ancient woodland behind and turns eastward once more. Beyond distant mountains and broad seas lies another remarkable civilization where mist-covered peaks, quiet bamboo forests, and peaceful temples rest among the clouds. There, in the tranquil landscapes of ancient East Asia, another chapter of our journey through the sleeping gods of the ancient world quietly awaits. The mountains hidden among the clouds, leaving the emerald forest behind, our journey gradually follows the rising land toward distant mountain ranges that stretch across the eastern horizon. The rolling hills slowly become steep valleys where clear streams tumble over smooth stones before gathering into quiet rivers below. The air grows cooler with every step, carrying the fresh fragrance of pine, cedar, flowering plum trees, and clean mountain water. Soft clouds drift lazily through the peaks, wrapping the higher slopes in gentle veils of mist that seem to change shape with every passing breeze. The mountains appear almost timeless. Their broad ridges rise gracefully above the valleys, disappearing into pale clouds that glow softly beneath the afternoon light. Bamboo groves sway quietly along the lower hillsides, while ancient pines cling patiently to rocky cliffs shaped by countless centuries of wind, rain, and winter snow. Everywhere the landscape encourages stillness. Nothing moves quickly except the occasional swallow gliding effortlessly through the open sky. Across many regions of ancient East Asia, mountains inspired profound reflection. Rather than standing as obstacles between people and the world, they often became places where quiet observation naturally deepened. Their changing seasons, flowing springs, drifting mists and peaceful forests gently reminded those who visited that nature itself followed rhythms far older than any kingdom or generation. Walking slowly along the mountain path, we notice how carefully the landscape reveals itself. One moment the valley stretches wide beneath the sunlight. The next, a passing cloud softly conceals the distant peaks before allowing them to appear once again. Nothing remains exactly the same for long, yet every change unfolds with remarkable gentleness, never disturbing the calm that fills the mountains. The streams flowing beside the trail seem to share this same peaceful character. Their clear waters gather from hidden springs higher among the rocks before descending patiently toward the valleys below. Moss-covered stones soften every bend, while delicate ferns grow wherever the cool mist settles. Even the sound of the water feels remarkably quiet, blending naturally with birdsong and the gentle movement of bamboo leaves stirred by the wind. Perhaps this landscape teaches one of the simplest lessons of all. Mountains do not rush toward the sky. Rivers do not hurry toward the sea. Clouds do not struggle to cross the peaks. Each follows its own quiet path, allowing time itself to become part of the beauty. Watching these gentle rhythms, the mind naturally begins to slow, matching the calm pace already carried by the living world. As the afternoon light grows softer, the mountain trail begins climbing toward a peaceful terrace overlooking the valley. There, partially hidden among ancient pines and flowering trees, the curved rooftops of an old temple gradually emerge from the drifting mist. Bells hang silently beneath its broad eaves, while stone lanterns line the quiet approach leading through the forest. Beneath the shelter of the mountains, another peaceful chapter of our journey patiently awaits. The mountain path climbs gently through a grove of ancient pines until the forest slowly opens onto a broad stone terrace overlooking the valley below. Resting peacefully upon the mountainside stands an old temple whose graceful wooden halls seem almost to grow from the landscape itself. Curved rooftops rise like the wings of resting birds, their dark tiles softened by centuries of rain and snow, while broad verandas open toward endless views of forests, rivers, and distant peaks disappearing into the afternoon mist. Everything here feels perfectly balanced. The temple does not separate itself from the mountain. Instead, it quietly follows the natural shape of the hillside. Stone steps wind gently between flowering shrubs. Moss-covered lanterns rest beside carefully placed paths, and clear springs flow beneath small wooden bridges before continuing down into the valley. Even the surrounding pines appear to lean protectively toward the quiet buildings, as though architecture and forest have patiently grown together through the centuries. Across many regions of ancient East Asia, temples were often built in places where the beauty of the natural world encouraged calm reflection. Mountains offered quiet seclusion, forests softened the sounds of the outside world, and flowing water gently reminded visitors of the steady passage of time. Although different cultures developed their own spiritual traditions and philosophies, many shared a deep appreciation for harmony between human craftsmanship and the landscape itself. Walking slowly through the temple grounds, one notices how every view has been quietly considered. A doorway frames the distant mountains. A wooden corridor opens toward a peaceful garden where carefully raked gravel surrounds weathered stones. A small pond reflects drifting clouds, while koi glide gracefully beneath floating lotus leaves without creating more than the gentlest ripple. Nothing appears excessive. Every element contributes quietly to the feeling of peaceful simplicity. Perhaps this gentle restraint is what makes places like these so calming. Rather than filling every space, they leave room for silence, for changing light, and for the quiet presence of nature itself. A single pine leaning above a stone lantern becomes enough. The sound of wind moving through bamboo is allowed to remain exactly as it is, without interruption. Even the empty spaces seem carefully welcomed rather than avoided. The afternoon breeze passes softly beneath the temple roofs, causing a small bronze bell suspended beneath one corner to sway almost imperceptibly. Its delicate chime drifts across the courtyard before dissolving into the surrounding forest. For a few peaceful moments, nothing follows. The silence that remains feels just as beautiful as the sound itself. As we continue beyond the temple, the path gently climbs once more through groves of bamboo whose slender green stalks sway together beneath the cooling light of late afternoon. Their quiet movement creates a soft whisper that seems to accompany every step. Beyond the bamboo forest, another peaceful landscape patiently awaits, where mist, flowing streams, and ancient gardens invite us deeper into the timeless beauty of the eastern mountains. Beyond the quiet temple, the stone pathway gradually becomes a narrow woodland trail that disappears into a vast grove of bamboo. At first, only a few graceful stalks appear beside the path. Then, with each gentle step, they multiply until they form an endless green forest stretching across the mountainside. Their tall, slender trunks rise effortlessly toward the sky, while countless delicate leaves sway softly overhead, filtering the afternoon light into gentle shades of emerald and gold. The forest moves, even when the air seems still. The slightest breeze passes through the bamboo with remarkable grace, sending quiet waves across the canopy that ripple from one hillside to another. The sound is unlike that of oak or pine. Instead of broad leaves rustling together, thousands of slender branches whisper softly in perfect harmony, creating one of the most peaceful voices in the natural world. Walking slowly beneath them, the path feels almost timeless. Smooth stones line the trail, where mountain springs occasionally cross before continuing downhill as narrow streams. Ferns spread across the shaded earth, while tiny wildflowers bloom wherever sunlight briefly reaches the forest floor. Every few moments, a butterfly drifts silently between the bamboo, disappearing almost as gently as it appeared. Across many parts of East Asia, bamboo has long been admired not only for its beauty, but also for its quiet resilience. It bends gracefully with the strongest winds rather than resisting them, then returns calmly to its upright form once the storm has passed. Watching such gentle strength unfold year after year naturally inspired admiration. Endurance, after all, need not always appear rigid. Sometimes it is found in the quiet ability to move with the changing world. Perhaps this is one of the oldest lessons offered by these peaceful forests. The bamboo never hurries toward the sky. Each new shoot emerges patiently from the earth, growing steadily until it joins the countless others already swaying above the mountain path. Together, they create something remarkably beautiful, not because any single stalk stands apart, but because each quietly contributes to the harmony of the whole. The deeper we walk, the quieter the outside world becomes. The distant temple bell has long faded into memory, replaced only by the gentle whisper of leaves, the soft murmur of flowing water somewhere among the rocks, and the occasional song of a small mountain bird hidden high within the green canopy. The forest asks for nothing more than our quiet attention, and in return, it offers a remarkable sense of calm. As the afternoon slowly begins, yielding to evening, the bamboo grove gradually opens toward a peaceful garden nestled beside a clear mountain spring. Smooth stepping stones cross the water. Flowering trees cast delicate reflections upon still ponds, and carefully shaped pines stand beside weathered rocks that have rested together for centuries. There, where water, stone, and quiet craftsmanship meet in gentle balance, another peaceful chapter of our journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations patiently awaits. The bamboo forest gradually gives way to an open garden, resting quietly upon the side of the mountain. At first, it seems almost untouched by human hands. Moss spreads gently across weathered stones. Small streams wander peacefully between clusters of flowering shrubs, and ancient pines lean gracefully over still ponds, where the evening sky is reflected with remarkable clarity. Only after a few quiet moments do the carefully placed stepping stones, wooden bridges and winding paths reveal the patient craftsmanship that shaped this peaceful landscape. Nothing here feels accidental. Every stone appears to rest exactly where it belongs. Every tree has been allowed to grow according to its own quiet character. The streams follow gentle curves that seem entirely natural, while small waterfalls descend over smooth rocks with a sound so soft that it blends effortlessly into the evening breeze. Rather than controlling the landscape, the garden quietly cooperates with it, allowing nature to remain the true artist. Across many ancient traditions of East Asia, gardens became peaceful places where people could observe the changing seasons in miniature. A single flowering tree might announce the arrival of spring. Moss quietly deepened its rich green color after gentle rain. Autumn leaves floated across still ponds before winter returned the branches to graceful simplicity. The garden became not a place separate from nature, but a gentle reflection of the wider mountains, rivers, and forests beyond its boundaries. Walking slowly across the smooth stepping stones, we pause beside a pond where colorful koi glide silently beneath the surface. Their graceful movement creates delicate ripples that slowly expand until they touch the reflections of nearby pines. Above the water, dragonflies drift effortlessly through the warm evening air, while the first faint hint of sunset begins touching the distant clouds with soft shades of gold and rose. Perhaps nowhere else does the passage of time feel so peaceful. The garden changes constantly, yet never appears hurried. A flower opens quietly at dawn before gently closing with the coming night. Pine needles fall one by one onto the moss below. Water smooths stone through countless gentle currents rather than sudden force. Everything reminds us that beauty often grows through patience rather than speed. The quiet harmony of the garden also reflects something we have discovered throughout our journey, whether beside the Nile, among the marble temples of Greece, within the oak forests of the Celtic world, or here among the eastern mountains. Ancient civilizations often found their deepest inspiration in places where humanity and nature existed together with mutual respect. Great monuments certainly remain impressive, yet the most enduring peace is often found beside a flowing stream, beneath an old tree, or within a quiet garden where every season is gently welcomed. As the sun slowly approaches the western mountains, the first cool breeze of evening moves softly across the ponds, carrying the fragrance of pine, fresh water, and flowering blossoms through the peaceful landscape. The garden gradually settles beneath the golden light of dusk, while the moon quietly prepares to rise once more above the distant peaks. Our own journey now turns toward its final landscapes. Beyond the mountains lies another ancient world where broad deserts, sacred rivers, and quiet temples will gently bring together everything we have discovered about the sleeping gods, the timeless rhythms of nature, and the peaceful civilizations that found wonder not only in the heavens above, but in the quiet beauty of the earth beneath their feet. The desert where the evening stars appeared. As the peaceful mountain gardens slowly disappear behind us, our journey follows the fading light westward once more. The cool air of the high forests gradually becomes warmer, and the scent of pine gives way to the quiet fragrance of dry earth, flowering desert shrubs, and wind-polished stone. Before us, broad deserts unfold beneath an immense evening sky, where the final colors of sunset gently melt into deep shades of blue and violet. The land appears wonderfully still. Soft dunes rise and fall like gentle waves across the horizon, while scattered acacia trees cast long shadows over the quiet sand. Far away, rugged cliffs glow with the last warm light of the day, before slowly surrendering to the silver radiance of the approaching moon. There are no crowded forests here, no rushing rivers crossing the landscape. Instead, silence itself seems to become another companion as we continue our slow and peaceful walk. Throughout the ancient world, deserts often inspired quiet contemplation. At first glance, they may seem empty, yet patient observation reveals remarkable life. Small flowers bloom after rare rains. Hardy grasses take root where moisture quietly lingers beneath the soil. Birds cross the open sky with effortless grace, while foxes, gazelles, and countless smaller creatures have long followed gentle rhythms perfectly suited to this peaceful landscape. Walking across the firm sand beneath the cooling evening air, it becomes easy to understand why the open desert encourages the mind to grow still. There are few distractions. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction, allowing the sky itself to become part of the landscape. As darkness slowly settles, the first stars begin appearing one by one, just as they have done for countless generations of travelers who quietly crossed these same ancient lands. Many early civilizations looked upward with remarkable care, observing the dependable movements of the heavens above the quiet earth below. The moon, the wandering planets, and the familiar constellations became gentle companions during long journeys across deserts where distant landmarks often disappeared beyond the horizon. Watching the night sky was not merely an act of curiosity. It was another way of becoming familiar with the patient rhythms of the world itself. Perhaps this is one of the quiet gifts offered by wide open landscapes. Without mountains or forests to limit our view, the heavens seem wonderfully close. The stars do not compete with the earth. Instead, both appear to belong to the same peaceful conversation, unfolding slowly through every passing night. Standing beneath such an immense sky naturally encourages humility, reminding us that the world has always moved according to rhythms far older than ourselves. The moon now rises gently above the eastern dunes, bathing the desert in soft silver light. The warm colors of sunset quietly fade, replaced by cool reflections stretching across the sand like gentle waves upon a calm sea. Far ahead, illuminated softly against the moonlit horizon, the graceful outlines of another ancient sanctuary begin to emerge. Its weathered columns, broad courtyards, and peaceful walls seem almost to grow from the surrounding stone itself. There, beneath an endless canopy of stars, another quiet chapter awaits, where architecture, desert, and sky have rested together in gentle harmony for centuries beyond memory. The moon now hangs high above the desert, casting a soft silver glow across the broad plain before us. The ancient sanctuary gradually comes into clearer view, its weathered stone walls and graceful colonnades rising quietly from the earth as though they have always belonged to this peaceful landscape. Time has softened every surface, wind has polished the corners of carved stones, and fine desert sand has gathered gently at the base of the columns without ever disturbing the remarkable balance of the place. There is no sound beyond the quiet voice of the night. A cool breeze drifts slowly through the open courtyard, carrying the faint fragrance of dry herbs growing between ancient stones. Somewhere beyond the sanctuary walls, a desert owl offers a single gentle call before silence once again settles across the moonlit plain. Above, the stars shine with extraordinary brilliance, untouched by any light except the calm radiance of the moon itself. Walking slowly between the columns, it becomes clear that this sanctuary was never separated from the landscape surrounding it. Wide courtyards remain open to the heavens, allowing moonlight and starlight to move freely across the stone floors. Doorways frame distant hills and endless skies, while long arcades invite cool evening breezes to pass gently through their quiet shadows. The builders understood something timeless, that architecture becomes most peaceful when it welcomes the natural world rather than shutting it away. Across many ancient civilizations, sacred places often reflected this same quiet harmony. Whether built beside rivers, upon mountains, within forests, or across open deserts, they frequently invited careful observation of the changing light, the movement of the seasons, and the dependable journey of the stars overhead. Their greatest beauty came not from ornament alone, but from their patient conversation with the landscapes around them. Perhaps that conversation continues tonight. The sanctuary remains silent, yet it speaks through the gentle balance between stone and sky. Every column casts a long moonlit shadow across the courtyard. Every weathered step reflects countless evenings spent beneath the same familiar constellations. Nothing feels forgotten. Instead, everything seems to have settled peacefully into the timeless rhythm shared by wind, moonlight, and the passing centuries. We pause near the center of the courtyard and look upward. The stars stretch from one horizon to the other with remarkable clarity. Somewhere among them are the same constellations observed by generations of astronomers, travelers, farmers, and storytellers throughout the ancient world. Different civilizations gave them different names and meanings, yet all quietly admired the same patient heavens slowly turning above the earth. As we continue beyond the sanctuary, the desert gradually begins to soften beneath the cool night air. Low hills rise gently ahead, while scattered groves of hardy trees appear beside hidden springs where fresh water quietly gathers beneath the rocks. There, where life patiently flourishes, even within the stillness of the desert, another peaceful chapter awaits before our long journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations gently approaches its final reflections. Leaving the quiet sanctuary behind, our path follows the gentle rise of the desert hills beneath a sky filled with brilliant stars. The moon now stands high overhead, illuminating the pale stone with a soft silver light that makes every ridge and valley appear calm and timeless. At first glance, the landscape seems almost untouched, shaped only by wind and time. Yet as we continue walking, the quiet sound of flowing water gradually begins to emerge from somewhere beyond the rocks. It is a sound both unexpected and wonderfully comforting. The narrow trail winds between weathered cliffs until it reaches a small spring hidden within the shelter of the hills. Clear water rises gently from beneath smooth stone before gathering into a shallow pool surrounded by reeds, flowering shrubs, and a handful of graceful date palms whose leaves shimmer softly beneath the moonlight. The cool air carries the refreshing fragrance of fresh water, damp earth, and desert blossoms that bloom only where the spring patiently nourishes the land. The entire oasis feels like a quiet pause within the vastness of the desert. Birds rest peacefully among the branches, while tiny insects drift above the water without disturbing its glass-like surface. The reflection of the moon lies perfectly still upon the pool until an occasional breeze gently ripples the water, causing the stars themselves to seem as though they are quietly drifting across its surface. Throughout history, springs like these have offered comfort to countless travelers crossing dry landscapes. More than simple places to rest, they became gentle reminders that even the quietest deserts contain hidden sources of life. Their dependable presence encouraged gratitude, patience, and careful stewardship, for the water that emerged so peacefully from the earth sustained every plant, animal, and traveler who arrived at its shores. Perhaps that quiet generosity explains why natural springs have inspired so many stories across civilizations. Without demanding attention, they quietly transformed the land around them. Trees found nourishment, flowers opened with the changing seasons, birds returned each year to familiar branches, and people discovered moments of peaceful rest before continuing their journeys. The spring asked for nothing in return. It simply continued flowing with remarkable constancy. We sit for a few moments beside the water, listening to its gentle voice echo softly among the surrounding rocks. The moonlight reflects from the pool onto the nearby cliffs, painting them in delicate shades of silver and pale blue. Looking upward, the stars remain just as brilliant as ever, reminding us once again how naturally earth and sky seem to belong together in places where silence is allowed to flourish. As the night slowly advances, our path leaves the hidden oasis and gently climbs toward one final ridge overlooking the sleeping desert. Beyond it, the eastern horizon waits patiently for another dawn, while the first quiet hints of morning remain hidden just beyond the edge of the world. There, beneath the fading stars, the final chapters of our peaceful journey through the ancient civilizations of the world will slowly begin to unfold. The hidden spring gradually disappears behind us as the trail rises toward the crest of a quiet ridge overlooking the vast desert below. The moon still shines brightly above the western horizon, yet the night has begun its gentle transformation. Far to the east, beyond the endless sea of pale sand and weathered stone, the faintest ribbon of soft blue quietly appears. It is almost too subtle to notice, like the first whispered promise of another peaceful morning. The desert welcomes this change without resistance. The cool air remains perfectly still, carrying only the delicate fragrance of dry earth and distant flowering shrubs that have patiently gathered moisture through the quiet night. Long shadows stretch across the dunes, gradually becoming softer as the darkness gently yields to the approaching light. Every ridge, every rocky outcrop, and every winding valley seems content to greet another sunrise, exactly as it has done for thousands of years. Standing upon the ridge, we can look back across many of the landscapes that have accompanied our journey. Somewhere beyond the horizon lie the fertile valleys of the Nile, where lotus flowers quietly opened with the morning light. Farther still rest the peaceful plains of Mesopotamia, the marble hills of Greece overlooking the sea, the emerald forests of the Celtic lands, and the mist-covered mountains of East Asia, where bamboo whispered gently beneath drifting clouds. Though separated by great distances, they now feel quietly connected by something deeper than geography alone. Each civilization looked upon the same heavens. The constellations crossed every sky with patient certainty. The moon completed its familiar cycle above deserts, rivers, forests, and mountains alike. The seasons continued their dependable rhythm, regardless of language, kingdom, or belief. Although people expressed these observations through different stories and traditions, many shared a quiet admiration for the remarkable harmony woven throughout the natural world. Perhaps this is the gentle thread that has carried us from one ancient civilization to the next. We have not sought to compare beliefs or unravel every mystery preserved within old myths. Instead, we have quietly followed the landscapes themselves. Rivers taught us patience, mountains offered perspective, forests welcomed stillness, gardens revealed the beauty of careful balance, while deserts reminded us that even the quietest places hold unexpected life for those willing to look with calm attention. The first light of dawn now touches the highest rocks with delicate shades of rose and pale gold. One by one, the brightest stars begin fading into the brightening sky, though a few still linger above the western horizon beside the slowly descending moon. A gentle breeze passes across the ridge, carrying with it the fresh promise of morning. Somewhere below, small birds begin greeting the new day from hidden shrubs nestled among the stones. Watching this quiet transition, it becomes difficult to imagine a more peaceful conclusion to the night's long journey. The moon gracefully surrenders its place to the sun, just as it has done through every age of human history. The sleeping temples, silent sanctuaries, forgotten gardens, and ancient rivers remain exactly where they have always been, waiting patiently beneath another changing sky. Ahead, our path gently descends toward broad valleys washed in the first golden light of morning. There, among landscapes where history, mythology, and nature quietly meet, the final act of our journey will begin, bringing together everything these timeless civilizations have gently taught us about patience, beauty, and the enduring rhythm of the living world. The valleys where morning quietly returned. The first light of dawn slowly spreads across the valleys below, replacing the cool silver of moonlight with warm shades of gold and soft amber. As our path descends from the quiet ridge, the desert gradually gives way to fertile land, where small streams emerge from hidden springs, nourishing grasses, flowering shrubs, and scattered groves of ancient trees. The air feels wonderfully fresh, carrying the fragrance of damp earth after the coolness of the night, while birds begin greeting the morning from branches touched by the rising sun. The world awakens without haste. Nothing changes suddenly. The stars quietly fade into the brightening sky. The moon becomes pale above the western hills, and long shadows slowly retreat beneath the growing warmth of the new day. Every transformation unfolds gently, following the same peaceful rhythm that has guided rivers, forests, mountains, and deserts throughout our journey. Walking through the valley, it becomes easy to remember the many civilizations whose landscapes have quietly accompanied us through the night. The fertile banks of the Nile welcomed the dependable floods that nourished ancient Egypt. The broad plains between the Tigris and Euphrates patiently sustained the first great cities of Mesopotamia. Olive-covered hills looked peacefully toward the blue waters of the Mediterranean, while distant Celtic forests whispered softly beneath towering oaks. Far beyond them, mist drifted among the mountains of East Asia, where quiet temples rested beside flowing streams. Each landscape offered its own understanding of harmony. Some found inspiration beside rivers, whose gentle currents renewed the earth each season. Others looked toward mountains, whose enduring presence quietly outlasted kingdoms. Forests revealed patience through ancient trees, while deserts taught that silence itself could become a faithful companion. Though separated by oceans, languages, and centuries, these civilizations often discovered the same quiet truth, that nature moves according to rhythms that neither hurry nor falter. Perhaps this explains why their oldest stories continue speaking to us today. Beneath every myth lies careful observation. The changing moon, the dependable return of spring, the flowering of lotus beside the Nile, the whisper of olive leaves in the Mediterranean breeze, the slow growth of oak forests, and the drifting clouds above distant mountains all became gentle reminders that the world itself carries remarkable wisdom for anyone willing to observe it patiently. The valley before us reflects that same timeless balance. Bees move peacefully among the wildflowers, dragonflies hover above the clear streams, and deer quietly emerge from the woodland edge before disappearing once more beneath the shelter of the trees. Nothing seeks attention. Every living thing simply follows the quiet pattern already woven into the landscape. As we continue walking beneath the growing warmth of the morning sun, the valley gradually widens into broad, open fields where rivers sparkle beneath the clear blue sky. Beyond them, gentle hills stretch toward the horizon, inviting us into another peaceful chapter where our long journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations will slowly begin gathering its final reflections. The valley opens gently before us until the narrow path becomes a broad meadow covered with tall grasses, moving softly beneath the morning breeze. Wildflowers bloom in quiet clusters along the edges of the trail, their colors warmed by the early sunlight, while clear streams continue their patient journey toward distant rivers that disappear beyond the rolling hills. The air is calm, filled with the familiar fragrance of fresh earth, flowering herbs, and leaves still carrying tiny drops of morning dew. Looking across the peaceful countryside, it becomes difficult to imagine where one civilization ends and another begins. The mountains may belong to one land, the rivers to another, and the forests to yet another, but the quiet rhythms that shape them remain wonderfully familiar. The same sunrise touches every valley. The same moon rises above every sea. Seasons quietly return, whether they are welcomed beside the Nile, among Celtic forests, across Mesopotamian plains, or within the mountain temples of East Asia. Nature has always spoken a language older than kingdoms, one understood through careful observation rather than hurried explanation. Perhaps this is the quiet thread connecting the stories we have explored together. Ancient civilizations created different myths, honored different gods, and built different temples, yet many of them looked upon the natural world with deep respect and careful attention. Rivers were not merely water crossing the land. Mountains were more than stone rising toward the sky. Forests, gardens, deserts, and stars all became gentle companions whose dependable rhythms quietly shaped the imagination of generations. Walking through the meadow, we notice how naturally these same rhythms continue today. Butterflies drift from blossom to blossom with effortless grace. Birds rise above the grasses before disappearing into the blue morning sky. A gentle breeze bends the wildflowers together before allowing them to stand once more beneath the growing warmth of the sun. Nothing appears extraordinary, yet everything quietly contributes to the peaceful harmony surrounding us. The ancient builders whose temples we visited understood something that remains meaningful even now. Their greatest monuments were often placed where rivers flowed, mountains overlooked broad valleys, forests offered quiet shelter, or the heavens could be observed without interruption. Stone alone was never enough. The landscape itself completed the experience, reminding every visitor that human craftsmanship reaches its fullest beauty when it exists alongside the natural world rather than apart from it. Perhaps this is why so many ancient sanctuaries still feel remarkably peaceful despite the passing of thousands of years. The marble has weathered, the sandstone has softened, and the wooden beams have aged with quiet dignity, yet the rivers continue flowing beside them. The forests still sway in the wind, the stars continue crossing the heavens each night. Nature has gently preserved the calm atmosphere these places have always known, patiently welcoming every new generation beneath the same familiar sky. As we leave the meadow behind, the path gently rises toward another quiet overlook where the countryside stretches endlessly beneath the brightening morning. There, with forests, rivers, mountains, deserts, and distant seas, all seeming to meet within one broad horizon, another peaceful reflection quietly awaits before our journey reaches its final farewell. The meadow gradually gives way to a gentle hillside, where the trail climbs slowly toward a broad overlook bathed in the warm light of the late morning sun. The air is wonderfully clear. From this quiet height, forests spread across distant valleys, rivers shimmer like ribbons of silver, mountains rise peacefully along the horizon, and open plains slowly disappear into a soft blue haze. Looking across such a vast landscape, it almost seems as though every place we have visited has quietly gathered into a single timeless view. The journey has become larger than any one civilization. The Nile no longer feels far from the olive groves of Greece. The peaceful bamboo forests seem to belong naturally beside the oak woodlands of the Celtic hills. The quiet deserts of Mesopotamia rest comfortably beside mist-covered mountains, while ancient temples, stone circles, rivers, and gardens all appear connected by the same gentle rhythm carried through the living world. Perhaps this is because every civilization, despite its unique stories and traditions, look toward the same enduring companions. The moon crossed every night sky. Dawn quietly replaced darkness each morning. Rivers faithfully nourished valleys, forests welcomed changing seasons, and mountains remained patient beneath passing clouds. Long before people spoke different languages or built different cities, the earth itself had already begun teaching these quiet lessons. Walking along the crest of the hill, we notice how naturally the landscape encourages gratitude. A hawk circles high above the valley without hurry. Wild grasses move together beneath the breeze, creating slow waves that ripple toward the distant forests. Small streams gather below, winding peacefully through fields that sparkle beneath the sunlight. Every part of the countryside contributes quietly to a greater harmony, never asking to stand apart from the whole. The myths we have encountered throughout this journey now feel a little different. Rather than distant tales belonging only to the past, they become gentle reflections of humanity's enduring relationship with the natural world. Ancient gods sleeping beneath mountains, watching over rivers, resting within forests, or accompanying the changing heavens can be understood not simply as figures from old stories, but as poetic reminders that generations before us found wonder in the same landscapes that continue welcoming us today. Perhaps that is why these ancient places still inspire such peaceful feelings. Their greatest treasure has never been hidden beneath stone or buried within forgotten ruins. It remains visible every morning when sunlight reaches an old temple wall, every evening when the moon rises above quiet mountains, and every season when rivers continue their patient journey through valleys shaped long before history was first written. The earth has never forgotten its own rhythm. Forests still breathe with the changing wind. Oceans continue reflecting the stars, gardens bloom, deserts remain silent, and ancient hills patiently watch another sunrise exactly as they always have. Human civilizations rise, flourish, and quietly become part of history. Yet the landscapes that inspired them continue offering the same calm invitation to slow down, to observe carefully, and to recognize the quiet beauty already present within the world around us. Ahead, only one peaceful chapter remains before our journey gently comes to rest. Beyond the hill, a quiet path descends toward a broad valley where rivers, forests, mountains, and open skies seem to meet beneath the warm light of the approaching afternoon. There, surrounded by the timeless companionship of nature, we will offer one final reflection before quietly saying goodnight to the sleeping gods of the ancient world. The hillside gradually descends into a broad valley where the warmth of the afternoon has settled gently across the landscape. A clear river winds peacefully through green fields, disappearing now and then behind clusters of ancient trees before quietly revealing itself once more farther downstream. Birds drift effortlessly through the blue sky, while a light breeze carries the fragrance of wildflowers, fresh grass, and sun-warmed earth across the open countryside. The journey is almost complete. Yet standing here, surrounded by such peaceful beauty, it becomes difficult to think of endings at all. The rivers continue flowing exactly as they always have. Forests breathe softly beneath the afternoon light. Mountains remain patient beyond the horizon, while the moon, now hidden beyond the brightness of the day, waits quietly for evening, when it will once again rise above the world with the same calm certainty that has accompanied humanity since the earliest civilizations. Throughout our walk, we visited landscapes that inspired some of history's oldest stories. We wandered beside the timeless Nile, crossed the fertile plains of Mesopotamia, rested beneath the olive trees of Greece, listened to rivers flowing through Celtic valleys, climbed mist-covered mountains in the east, and watched moonlight settle across quiet deserts where ancient sanctuaries welcomed the stars. Every place carried its own unique voice, yet each gently echoed the same enduring truth. The natural world has always been one of humanity's greatest teachers. Perhaps that is why the sleeping gods of the ancient world feel so peaceful tonight. Rather than appearing as distant rulers demanding attention, they have quietly accompanied us as symbols of rivers that never ceased flowing, forests that patiently welcomed each season, mountains that remained unchanged through countless generations, and skies whose stars continued their faithful journey regardless of the passing centuries. Their stories remind us that long before books preserved history, people learned by watching the earth itself. The most remarkable monuments we encountered were never separated from the landscapes around them. Temples welcomed the sunrise, gardens reflected the changing seasons, stone circles opened toward the wide sky. Sanctuaries rested beside rivers, while quiet pathways led through forests where ancient trees had already stood for generations. Everywhere we traveled, architecture and nature existed together in gentle harmony, each quietly completing the beauty of the other. Perhaps modern life can still learn something from those ancient landscapes. They ask very little from us. They invite us to notice the changing light upon a familiar tree, the patient movement of flowing water, the quiet appearance of the first evening star, or the remarkable comfort found in simply sitting beside a peaceful river without feeling the need to hurry elsewhere. Such moments have always existed. They have simply waited patiently for our attention. As we pause beside the gently flowing river one final time, sunlight glitters softly upon its surface before disappearing beneath the shade of overhanging branches. The breeze continues moving through the leaves, creating the same quiet music that has accompanied forests and valleys since long before history first found words to describe them. Somewhere far beyond the horizon, ancient temples remain standing beneath changing skies. Rivers continue nourishing fertile lands. Mountains welcome drifting clouds, and deserts patiently await another moonrise. The world has changed in countless ways, yet its oldest rhythms remain beautifully unchanged. The sun will set again this evening. The moon will quietly return. The stars will once more cross the heavens, and somewhere, beneath those same familiar skies, the timeless landscapes that inspired humanity's oldest stories will continue resting peacefully, asking for nothing except to be observed with gratitude, patience, and quiet wonder. Only one final act remains, where our long journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations will gently come to rest beneath the calm embrace of another peaceful evening. The quiet world the ancients never truly left. The afternoon slowly matures into the gentle stillness that comes before evening. The golden light softens across the valley, warming the stone walls, the quiet river, and the distant hills with a calm radiance that seems to linger a little longer before slowly giving way to another peaceful sunset. Around us, the landscape continues exactly as it has throughout our journey. Birds drift lazily above the meadows, the breeze moves patiently through the trees, and the water follows its ancient course toward places far beyond the horizon, never hurried and never delayed. Looking across this timeless countryside, it becomes almost impossible to separate the present from the distant past. The same sun that now shines upon these fields once illuminated the temples of Egypt, the cities of Mesopotamia, the marble sanctuaries of Greece, the oak forests of the Celtic world, and the quiet mountain temples of the East. The earth has continued its gentle rhythm through every civilization, patiently carrying each generation across the same dependable cycle of dawn, daylight, sunset, and stars. Perhaps this is the quiet realization that has slowly accompanied us from the very beginning of our walk. The sleeping gods of the ancient world are not waiting inside forgotten temples or hidden beneath weathered stones. Instead, they continue living quietly within the landscapes that first inspired them. Every flowing river still reflects the dependable generosity once celebrated by ancient peoples. Every mountain continues offering the same silent strength that invited generations to lift their eyes toward the heavens. Forests still breathe with the changing seasons. Deserts still reveal remarkable peace beneath the stars. And the moon still rises with such faithful certainty that it hardly seems to belong to any one civilization at all. It belongs equally to every valley, every coastline, every quiet village, and every traveler who pauses long enough to watch it appear above the horizon. Throughout history, people have searched for wisdom in many different ways. Some carefully observed the stars crossing the night sky. Others listened to rivers through every changing season, or watched forests quietly transform from spring blossoms into autumn colors before welcoming winter's peaceful silence. Ancient myths often became gentle companions to these observations, offering poetic language for experiences that already existed within the natural world. Whether expressed through stories of gods, spirits, or sacred landscapes, many of these traditions quietly encourage the same enduring habit to pay attention. They invited people to notice the dependable return of migrating birds, the patient growth of ancient trees, the changing light upon familiar mountains, and the quiet beauty of evenings that arrived without fail. Perhaps this gentle attentiveness remains one of the most valuable gifts these civilizations have left behind. Modern life often moves at remarkable speed, encouraging us to measure progress by hours, deadlines, and constant activity. Yet beyond our busy routines, the earth continues following older rhythms that have never needed to hurry. Rivers still carve valleys one current at a time. Great forests continue adding new leaves each spring before quietly releasing them again in autumn. Mountains remain patient beneath passing clouds, while the stars continue their endless journey across the heavens without ever asking to be noticed. Simply remembering these rhythms can soften the mind in ways that few other things can, gently reminding us that the world has always been larger, calmer, and more patient than our daily concerns. As the afternoon light slowly begins yielding to the first warm colors of approaching evening, long shadows once again stretch peacefully across the valley floor. The river glows softly beneath the lowering sun, while distant hills begin preparing to welcome the moon for one final time. Our own journey has almost reached its natural conclusion. Only one quiet farewell remains before we gently leave these timeless landscapes behind, carrying with us the calm companionship of rivers, mountains, forests, temples, gardens, deserts, and skies that have patiently watched over humanity since the earliest days of civilization. The sun now rests low above the western horizon, bathing the valleys, rivers, forests, mountains, and distant deserts in a warm golden light that seems to linger lovingly upon every part of the earth. The breeze has grown softer once again, carrying the quiet fragrance of wild grasses, flowering herbs, old stone, and fresh water, as though every landscape we have visited has gently gathered together for one final farewell. Looking across the broad countryside, it becomes clear that nothing within the natural world is truly separate. The rivers eventually reach the sea. The mountains gather the clouds that become rain. Forests shelter countless forms of life, while deserts patiently wait for the rare gift of water. Above them all, the moon, the sun, and the stars continue their ancient journey without ever asking which kingdom lies below. Their quiet light belongs equally to every civilization that has ever lifted its eyes toward the heavens. Perhaps that is the most peaceful lesson carried by the sleeping gods of the ancient world. They remind us that beneath every story, every temple, every monument, and every forgotten city was a landscape that quietly inspired wonder long before history first learned to write its own name. The people of Egypt watched the Nile faithfully return with the seasons. The cities of Mesopotamia grew beside rivers that patiently nourished fertile plains. Greek philosophers walked among olive groves beneath clear Mediterranean skies. Celtic storytellers wandered through forests where ancient oaks welcomed each changing season, while quiet temples in the mountains of East Asia rested peacefully among clouds, flowing streams, and whispering bamboo. Although these civilizations understood the world in beautifully different ways, many shared one remarkable habit. They paused long enough to notice the quiet order already woven into the earth itself. As our own journey gently comes to an end, it is comforting to realize that these landscapes have never truly disappeared. Many ancient temples now rest peacefully beneath open skies, where birds continue building their nests each spring. Rivers still follow the same valleys they carved thousands of years ago. Olive trees continue growing upon Mediterranean hillsides, while deserts remain wonderfully silent beneath endless stars. Bamboo forests still whisper with every passing breeze, and great oak trees continue adding one quiet ring beneath their bark with each returning year. History has moved forward. Civilizations have risen and faded, yet the earth has continued its patient work without interruption, quietly reminding every generation that beauty rarely asks for attention. It simply waits to be noticed. Perhaps that is why places like these remain so deeply comforting. They gently invite us to step outside the hurried pace of ordinary life and remember that not everything meaningful arrives quickly. Great rivers shape valleys through countless gentle currents. Mountains rise through ages beyond imagination. Forests become ancient one quiet season after another. Even the evening sky unfolds with remarkable patience as daylight slowly welcomes twilight. Twilight gently becomes night, and the first familiar stars quietly appear above the horizon. Watching these timeless rhythms, we begin to understand why so many ancient peoples found both comfort and wisdom in simply observing the natural world with gratitude rather than trying to master it. Now the last light of the day slowly slips beyond the distant hills, and the first silver glow of the rising moon quietly returns to the landscape. It touches the river with soft reflections, illuminates the tops of ancient trees, and gently rests upon weathered temple stones that have patiently welcomed countless evenings before this one. The same peaceful cycle begins again, exactly as it always has. Somewhere beyond the horizon, another forest breathes beneath the night air. Another mountain welcomes drifting clouds. Another river reflects the moon as it continues its endless journey toward the sea. The world remains wonderfully alive, gently repeating its oldest rhythms with calm confidence. Thank you for allowing the quiet sleep to accompany you on this peaceful journey through the sleeping gods of ancient civilizations. If you enjoy slow explorations of history, mythology, archaeology, and the timeless beauty of the natural world, you are always welcome to return. There will be another forgotten temple resting beneath the stars, another quiet river flowing through an ancient valley, another peaceful forest waiting beneath the moon, and another gentle story carried patiently across the centuries. Until we meet again, may your evenings be calm, your thoughts become light, and your dreams wander peacefully through timeless landscapes where rivers continue flowing, forests quietly breathe, mountains patiently watch the changing sky, and the ancient world still rests beneath the same faithful moon that has guided humanity since the beginning of memory. Good night.